Hey friends, it's me, and it's time for chapter 5 called Time. And there is Gwendolyn in her bowl, and it's near the window, and she's looking out. And Gwendolyn is a very wise hermit crab, and she's older, so she's been through a lot and has seen a lot. So we're going to start chapter 5 called Time. Kona, Gwendolyn whispered into the darkness. It's begun. The dog lifted his large brown head from his bed in the corner of the living room. Listen, said Gwendolyn. Kona held himself quite still and listened. There was the ticking of the Swiss clock on the mantel, the hush of warm air from the gas fireplace, the subtle buzz of the plant light above Professor Albert's violets, and something else. Can you feel it in the air, Kona? Gwendolyn shifted her shell around to look at him directly. Kona waited, and as he did, a most powerful feeling came over him. Is it Stumpy? He whispered. Is it time? The old crab stretched her antenna as high as they could reach. She searched the air. I believe it is time, she said with conviction. Oh! Kona jumped up. Oh! He went to the picture window and looked out toward the tops of the trees in Gooseberry Park. I wish I could be there, he said. He rested his front paws on the windowsill. Kona, dear, said Gwendolyn, you are a most remarkable dog, but I am sorry to say not so remarkable as to climb a tree and assist a squirrel having babies. I wish I were, Kona said with a sigh. I wish I were that remarkable. She'll be fine, dear, Gwendolyn said reassuringly, fully believing this herself. She's a plucky one. Kona stared out toward the park a while longer. Then he began to pace. He went from the living room to the dining room, turned right at the sideboard to the study, circled the study, then paced back to the living room exactly the way he'd come. He longed for a good bone to chew, but he'd left his best one in the backyard. He plopped down on the floor and began chewing the leg of the coffee table. Kona! Yelled Gwendolyn. What? The dog jumped so fast that he banged his nose on the table. Thanks, Gwendolyn. Forgot where I was. I don't think there's much damage. The old crab shook her head. Kona, my dear, there are some things in this life we must experience alone. Even having babies? Asked Kona. Even having babies, answered Gwendolyn. Why, when I had my children. Gwendolyn, you have children? Kona's eyes were wide with surprise. The crab smiled. Dear, I had quite a full life in the tropics before I was carried off to be sold in a pet shop. Not that I'm complaining, mind you, I am very devoted to our Professor Albert. So here is Kona looking out the window, and he's sitting next to Gwendolyn, and they know that it's time. They know that Stumpy's babies are coming, and they're so excited. Kona can't contain himself. He's so excited he wants to go to the park and be there. But Gwendolyn she's wise, and she tells him, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. Stumpy's going to do this by herself, and then everything will be fine. You'll see. So now Gwendolyn's talking about her children. Children? Asked Kona. At least 50, answered Gwendolyn. All grown now, and let me tell you, my friend, giving birth is something very private and rather sacred. It was for me as private as prayer. Oh, said Kona with a solemn look on his face. Together, the two gazed out the window in silence at the trees, the stars, the clear, bright moon in the sky. Each was full of thoughts, thoughts about the earth and its heavens, about mothers and their children, about the profound comfort of shelter and sustenance and the familiarity of home. And both sent forth their best, their strongest, their most sustaining thoughts to the little red squirrel, who at that very moment was happily nursing two baby boys and one baby girl in the good green fragrance of a pin oak tree. So over here, we see Stumpy, and now she's had her babies. She has two little boys and a little girl. And that is the end of that chapter. I hope you enjoyed it. So Stumpy's babies have arrived. They're here. And Kona, of course, is stuck at home. He's not at Gooseberry Park right now, but he's really excited about it, and he cannot wait probably to get back out and go to the park with Professor Albert so that he can see Stumpy and the babies. So I hope you enjoyed that chapter. And next time we will be reading chapter 6, and it's called Children.